And welcome to Grandad's Reviews. In this quickish video, I'm going to have a really quick look at the difference between F-Log and F-Log2 in the Fuji X-H2S. It's just a quick setup just to show how much more, not so much dynamic range, but how more spread out that dynamic range is in F-Log2 compared to F-Log. So we'll look at the F-Log. I've set a scene up. We'll set zebras to 80%. We'll expose for that. And then we'll switch over to F-Log2 and you'll see how much difference the exposure will change. And you'll see how much then you get more latitude really in that dynamic range. Now do be aware that when you do film in F-Log, the read speed of the sensor decreases, so you may get a bit more rolling shutter. But I think it's worth it for that extra latitude when using F-Log2. And I'm not a colourist or really any good at grading as such up to the level of some of the people out there. I will put some links to a YouTube channel I watch to learn about grading and colour management and all that. I'll just quickly show you the 4 methods that you can use to get your F-Log to a starting point. So I'll have a quick look at that as well. So let's get into the video and have a quick look. Right, I'm shooting on X-H2S here. We've got it in H265 all intra and I'm on F-Log. Got a scene set up, a light. This is my Blackmagic Video Assist, and if you can see, I've got the zebras set at 80. And if you can see there, we're flashing the zebras on middle grey. So the middle, that third from the right, we've got zebras on at 80%. At 100%, nothing's only a little bit blown out. The zebras at 80. Yeah. If you look on the back of the screen, you can see here, not the ideal, we're showing nearly 2 stops over. And we've got the same readout on the zebras here. So let's film that. We're at ISO 640, the base ISO for F-Log. Then I'm going to try F-Log2. So we'll record this. I'm recording in ProRes LT on the monitor, but because this is 6.2K, it only outputs 1080p on the HDMI cable, so that's what that's recording. So we'll do a little bit of that, stop it. Let's change this to F-Log2. So our ISO's gone to 1250 on F-Log2. So put this to the same. There we are. And that's the back of the screen. We're just coming on that one, but then set the same. Let's go back to the Video Assist. Let's bring the waveform up. And there's the waveform, and we're not clipping. So I think I can go to there, or even one more. Let's go there. So on the Video Assist, there. Third one, so same as F-Log. And if I go into false colours, there's nothing in the red. So we'll record that as it is and we'll see what we get. So this is X-H2S, we're in 6.2K, H265 all intra, shooting F-Log2. Screen showing +2 on exposure. So 6.2K F-Log2 at 1250 base for F-Log2. We'll see what that looks like. As you can see, there's a huge difference between F-Log and F-Log2 when it comes to exposure and how you're going to have to expose it for your scene. So here we are on the colour page. We've got our F-Log up on here. Let me just get rid of the clip so I've got a bit more space. So we've got the F-Log on here and we want to get it to a starting point. So what we need is to bring it from this flat colour space into a Rec 709 colour space that we can manipulate and is ready for output. Now, the first way, and probably the way that a lot of people will do it, is we're in our colour management. We've just got the colour science at Davinci YRGB. Timeline is at Rec 709 Gamma 2.4, and the output colour space is the same because that's what we're going to be using. We'll add another node. We'll go into our LUTs, pick the X-H2S, and we'll drag on a F-Log2 wide dynamic range, and there we've got a starting point. But the one thing you'll notice, and this is just F-Log, this one is, if we go to F-Log2, which looks a lot flatter, we drag that same LUT on, and it's still quite flat. We're going to have to do a lot of work before this LUT to actually get it somewhere near. So that's the first and probably the quickest way. The other way we've got, bring up our colour management. We'll go to Davinci YRGB colour managed, switch that off, go to HDR Davinci wide gamut intermediate. So that's our processing mode, so we're getting the most colours on the timeline, and our output is going to be that. Now this way of doing it will be actually do it on a clip basis. So now we've got that done, nothing's changed on our two clips. They still look flat, but if we right click on the clip we want to do, go to input colour space and pick F-Log, then we've got this more saturated and more contrasty Rec 709 look to actually work with. If we go to F-Log2 though, do the same thing, there you go. It's still flatter. So both of these now look the same as if you'd just dropped a LUT on it. But now we've got a bit more control. Davinci Resolve knows what the colour space is, and we can use the HDR wheels properly because they're working correctly, because Davinci's actually managing the colour spaces. So that's that way. So if we just put this back to project, so we've got our two F-Logs back to where they started. So that was our second, and that's on a, so you can actually change it on a clip by clip. So if, like here, I've got clips that are from my Pocket 2, they're obviously not an F-Log, they're nothing to do with Fuji, so I can do them individually from these F-Logs. So that was that way. Right, go to colour management again. Still going to use the colour managed, but in this drop down, we're going to go to custom, and then we've got input colour space. So we click on that, and we can pick Fuji F-Log as the input colour space because that's what it is. Still going to use our timeline as the intermediate because that gives us the most colours to work with. I'm going to leave everything else as the same, and as soon as we click that, see, that's gone to that more saturated and contrasty image like the previous one. If we go to the F-Log2 again, it's still a bit more flat. We're going to have to do a bit more work with it, as you can see. So that's that method. Fourth and final method, we'll just go to Davinci YRGB. So this is not going to be colour managed by Davinci, we're doing it ourselves. Timeline we will put to Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. Output colour space the same because that's what we want. It's saved. This goes flat again, same as F-Log2. But now what we need to do, add a node, go to effects. We're going to drop a colour space transform on that node. Input colour space. And we know what that is, don't we? But as you can see, there is no Fuji in the input colour space. But we know from Fuji's white paper on F-Log that it's Rec 2020. Input gamma, Fuji F-Log. Output colour space is going to be 709 again, which is the same as the timeline, so we'll leave them as that, or you can change them to Rec 709 if you want. And as you can see, we've got our F-Log back up to the same as when we put the LUT or the other colour management systems on. So we go to the F-Log2, we'll add another node, stick that on there. We want Rec 2020, Fuji F-Log, and then we get there. But however you want to get the F-Log to a starting point is entirely up to you. None of these ways of doing it is right or wrong. Obviously, if you do it with Davinci doing the colour management, then this way you're doing it on a clip by clip basis. But if you do it to the custom and change these, then you're doing it on a timeline. Everything on the timeline is getting the same setting. So whichever way you want to do it, none of the ways are wrong. It's whichever way you want to prefer or how you want to work. So that's a quick look at getting the F-Log to a basic Rec 709 colour space for you to colour grade. You've got choices when you come to actually grade that F-Log, depending on how you want to do it, whether you want to do it at a clip level or timeline level, and whether you want full control or let Davinci Resolve actually manage some of that colour management for you. But I think F-Log2 is definitely worth having a go at and getting experienced at, because there is a bigger latitude there for you, a lot more for you to work with. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, see you later.